The story of Zoe Pound is one of resilience, ambition, and controversy, a tale that begins in the rugged streets of Haiti and unfolds in the neon-lit cityscapes of Miami. Despite being one of the most feared and enigmatic groups in American history, their story remains shrouded in mystery, rarely receiving the attention it deserves. Today, we'll peel back the layers on how a group of marginalized young men from Haiti formed a network that shook the music industry and the streets alike. Haiti, a small Caribbean nation located about 800 miles south of Florida, has a proud history. It was the first independent Black republic, born from a rebellion against French rule. Yet by the 1960s, Haiti was struggling under crippling poverty, with over 80% of its population living below the poverty line. This economic despair forced many Haitians to flee their homeland, seeking better opportunities abroad. Most found their way to Miami, Florida. By the 1980s, over 200,000 Haitian immigrants had settled in Miami, particularly in neighborhoods like Lemon City, now Little Haiti, and Carol City. These areas, affordable but notoriously rough, became the epicenter of Haitian life in America. Life wasn't easy. Haitian teens, often mocked for their accents and backgrounds, faced relentless bullying in schools like Edison High and Little Haiti and Carol City High School. These tough conditions gave rise to an unbreakable bond among Haitian youths. To defend themselves, these teenagers formed small gangs. In Little Haiti, the Sable Boys emerged under the leadership of Jimmy Casimir, aka Makazo, a fearless and determined figure. In Carol City, Ali Adam, later nicknamed Zoe, rallied his peers to form the Carol City Haitian CCH. Both groups were rooted in unity and self-protection but operated under vastly different philosophies. Ali Adam was methodical and business-minded, while Makazo thrived on chaos and thrill. The paths of these two leaders collided in 1990 when a misunderstanding with rival gang Sap Boys threatened both groups. Ali and Makazo forged an alliance, blending Ali's calculated strategy with Makazo's brute enforcement. Together, they created the Zoe Pound, named after the Creole word Zoe meaning bone, symbolizing strength and resilience. Unlike traditional gangs, Zoe Pound shunned overt displays like colors, tattoos, or hand signs, relying instead on their culture as their unifying symbol. This discretion allowed them to evade law enforcement while cementing their reputation as one of Florida's most dangerous factions. By the mid-1990s, Zoe Pound had effectively neutralized rivals like the Sap Boys and expanded their influence. Makazo saw an opportunity in the maritime trade routes between Haiti and Miami, often used for illicit activities. By embedding Zoe Pound operatives in Haitian ports, Makazo orchestrated audacious heists on cargo ships carrying contraband, like the infamous Lars Dendy in 1997. Though these operations brought wealth, they also attracted attention and legal trouble. Repeated run-ins with law enforcement eventually landed Makazo a life sentence, signaling a turning point for Zoe Pound. While Makazo's methods were bold and chaotic, Ali Adam had a different vision. Using his earnings, he transitioned into legitimate ventures, buying businesses like a Subway franchise and a strip mall. By 1999, his estimated net worth was a staggering $11 million. However, the allure of the streets proved irresistible. Ali founded House of Fire Records, aiming to put Miami on the hip-hop map. With Cash Money Records as an ally, Zoe Pound began exerting influence over the music industry. Artists like Birdman and Lil Wayne found themselves entangled in Zoe Pound's web. Ali's tactics weren't outright extortion, but veiled demands for favors in return for protection and promotion. Refusal often had dire consequences, as Houston rapper Lil Flip learned in 2004 when he failed to honor a deal, resulting in a frightening encounter with Zoe Pound members. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 displaced Cash Money Records from New Orleans to Miami, deepening their ties with Zoe Pound. However, tensions flared when Lil Wayne, then Cash Money star artist, failed to cooperate with Ali's demands. In retaliation, Zoe Pound allegedly attacked Cash Money assets, including tour buses and luxury vehicles. The conflict only ended after music mogul Jimmy Henchman mediated a truce. By the late 2000s, law enforcement began tightening the noose around Zoe Pound. A botched transaction in 2007 led to arrests that ultimately implicated Ali Adam. Convicted of racketeering in 2009, he received a 30-year sentence, marking the decline of Zoe Pound's dominance. Despite their reduced visibility, whispers of Zoe Pound's presence remain, a shadowy reminder of their once formidable influence. The story of Zoe Pound is a testament to resilience in the face of adversity. Born from the struggles of Haitian immigrants, they created a network that demanded respect in the streets and the boardrooms. Yet, their journey is also a cautionary tale about the allure of power and the perils of a life on the edge. From the streets of Little Haiti to the glitzy heights of the music industry, Zoe Pound's saga is one of ambition and survival, a story that refuses to fade into the shadows. The Zoe Pound story doesn't just end with a series of arrests, betrayals, and alliances. It's a story about resilience, ambition, and survival against the odds. Born out of a community facing constant rejection, the group symbolized the fight for identity and respect, even when their methods were ruthless and controversial. While their official rise may have slowed down after 2009, the spirit of Zoe Pound and their impact linger, influencing Miami, hip-hop culture, and perceptions of Haitian American communities. But why does this story matter today? Let's dive deeper into what Zoe Pound represents beyond the headlines. To understand Zoe Pound, you must first understand the community they represented. Miami in the 80s and 90s was a melting pot of cultures, but also a battleground for immigrant communities fighting for their place in the American dream. Haitians, often stigmatized due to their accents and cultural differences, found themselves ostracized even among other black communities. Poverty, unemployment, and systemic racism only worsened their plight. Zoe Pound's birth wasn't just about criminal activity, it was about standing tall. The group embodied a fierce pride in their Haitian heritage. The name Zoe, meaning bone, symbolized their unbreakable spirit. Whether through violence or alliances, they were determined to earn the respect they felt was long overdue. For many Haitian teens in Miami, Zoe Pound wasn't just a gang, it was a shield. It was an identity that told the world we are here, and we are not afraid. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. While the story of Zoe Pound's extortion and intimidation tactics is infamous, their subtle influence on hip-hop culture is often overlooked. Their relationship with Cash Money Records, Birdman, and Lil Wayne introduced a new narrative to the rap scene. Suddenly, it wasn't just about rapping about life in the streets, it was about acknowledging the silent powers behind the scenes. Miami, with its vibrant yet tumultuous history, became a breeding ground for hip-hop. Zoe Pound's presence in the city shaped the music industry's dynamics. Artists knew that collaboration was often not a choice but a necessity. Zoe Pound didn't just extort, they pushed Miami into the hip-hop spotlight. Songs referencing Zoe Pound subtly slipped into the mainstream, weaving the group's story into rap culture. While some artists like Lil Wayne publicly addressed their interactions with Zoe Pound, others preferred to stay silent, likely out of fear or respect. The industry became a delicate dance between art and survival, and Zoe Pound was the conductor of this symphony. Zoe Pound's strategic methods made them an enigma for law enforcement. Without tattoos, colors, or obvious signs of affiliation, they were nearly invisible. This wasn't a gang wearing matching jackets, it was an organization blending seamlessly into everyday life. For Miami police and the FBI, this was a nightmare. How do you fight a group that doesn't want to be seen? Investigations into Zoe Pound were slow and frustrating. Even when arrests were made, lack of evidence or community silence often meant cases were dropped. The 2007 arrests marked a turning point, but they didn't signal the end. Zoe Pound's structure ensured continuity, with younger members stepping up to fill the void left by imprisoned leaders. It became a game of cat and mouse, with Zoe Pound consistently adapting to outwit law enforcement. Zoe Pound's rise forces us to ask uncomfortable questions about society. What happens when an immigrant community is left with no resources, no opportunities, and no representation? Groups like Zoe Pound don't appear out of thin air, they are born from systemic failure. In the 60s and 70s, Haitian immigrants arrived in Miami seeking a better life, only to find themselves at the bottom of the social hierarchy. Schools were hostile, jobs were scarce, and public perception was cruel. Zoe Pound's creation was, in many ways, a response to a society that refused to acknowledge them. Could things have been different? If Haitian immigrants had been welcomed, supported, and integrated into the broader Miami community, perhaps the need for groups like Zoe Pound wouldn't have existed. This isn't to excuse their actions, but to understand them in the context of their environment. Today, Miami is a different city. Little Haiti has evolved, becoming a cultural hub that celebrates Haitian art, food, and traditions. The struggles of the past have paved the way for a brighter future, but Zoe Pound's shadow still looms. For better or worse, Zoe Pound forced Miami to recognize its Haitian population. They demanded respect and, in doing so, laid the groundwork for a more inclusive city. Modern Miami owes some of its vibrant multicultural identity to the groundwork laid by groups like Zoe Pound, even if their methods were controversial. Post-2009, Zoe Pound became quieter. Law enforcement crackdowns and changing social dynamics pushed the group further underground. But that doesn't mean they disappeared. Like any organization, Zoe Pound adapted. Today, they are less visible but still influential. They've learned from past mistakes, staying low-key while maintaining their presence in Miami and beyond. Their operations have likely shifted, focusing more on behind-the-scenes influence than overt displays of power. For the next generation of Zoe Pound members, the challenge is navigating a world that is constantly watching. Social media, surveillance technology, and changing attitudes toward crime make it harder to operate in the shadows. But if Zoe Pound's history teaches us anything, is that they thrive on adaptation. The story of Zoe Pound isn't just a tale of crime and power, it's a mirror reflecting society's failures and resilience. It's a reminder that marginalized communities will find ways to survive, even if those ways are controversial. It's also a cautionary tale for law enforcement and policymakers. Ignoring or mistreating communities doesn't make problems disappear, it creates them. Addressing systemic issues like poverty, racism, and lack of opportunity is the only way to prevent future groups from rising in similar ways. Zoe Pound's cultural impact extends beyond Miami. Their story is now part of the broader narrative of hip-hop, immigration, and urban survival. Books, documentaries, and even casual references in music keep their legacy alive. For young Haitians in Miami, Zoe Pound remains a polarizing symbol. Some see them as heroes who stood up for their community. Others see them as criminals who tarnish their heritage. Both views are valid, highlighting the complexity of their legacy. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. The story of Zoe Pound is far from over. While their overt influence has waned, their legacy continues to shape Miami and the hip-hop world. The group serves as a reminder of what happens when ambition, survival, and systemic failure collide. For Miami, the challenge is building a city where groups like Zoe Pound are no longer necessary. This means investing in education, creating opportunities, and fostering a sense of belonging for all communities. It's not an easy task, but it's a necessary one. Zoe Pound's story is a chapter in the larger book of American history. It's a story of struggle, resilience, and the fight for respect. And while their methods may have been controversial, their message is clear: everyone deserves to be seen, heard, and valued. At its heart, Zoe Pound's story is one of identity. In a world that tried to erase them, they forced others to see them. For Haitian immigrants in Miami, their accents, skin color, and cultural differences often made them targets of ridicule. Yet, through Zoe Pound, young Haitians learned to embrace who they were. The group didn't just represent a gang, it represented an unspoken truth: identity is power. Zoe Pound members proudly claimed their Haitian roots, showing others that there was strength in unity. This pride influenced other marginalized communities, proving that culture could be a weapon as powerful as any other. Even today, Haitian Americans look back at Zoe Pound as a complex symbol. While the group's criminal activities drew criticism, their unapologetic celebration of Haitian culture gave many a sense of pride. This duality continues to spark debates within the community. What happens when a group that fights for your identity also tarnishes it? For all their notoriety, Zoe Pound was remarkably organized. They operated less like a gang and more like a corporation, with hierarchies, strategies, and clearly defined roles. This structure was key to their survival. The leadership in Zoe Pound wasn't just about being the strongest or most feared, it was about strategy. Leaders understood the importance of alliances, whether with other gangs, music moguls, or even corrupt officials. They knew that survival required adaptability. One striking lesson from Zoe Pound is their ability to build loyalty. Members weren't just followers, they were part of a family. This sense of belonging kept the group cohesive, even during turbulent times. It's a lesson that organizations of all kinds, from businesses to grassroots movements, can learn from. People will follow you if they believe in the vision you're selling. However, their leadership also carried a darker side. Fear was often the glue holding the group together. Leaders maintained order by instilling a sense of consequence for betrayal or failure. This duality, loyalty built on both love and fear, is what kept Zoe Pound formidable. Zoe Pound's story isn't unique. Across the globe, marginalized communities have created similar groups to fight oppression and demand respect. From the street gangs of Los Angeles to the favelas of Brazil, these organizations often arise in response to systemic failures. Take, for instance, the Yakuza in Japan or the MAFIA in Italy. Both groups began as protectors of their communities, stepping in where governments failed. Over time, like Zoe Pound, they grew into powerful criminal enterprises. While their methods were controversial, their origins were rooted in a desire to provide for their people. Even in Africa, groups like the Mungiki in Kenya have parallels with Zoe Pound. These organizations started as cultural movements, protecting their traditions and people, but eventually spiraled into criminality. The story is eerily familiar. When systems fail, people take matters into their own hands, often blurring the lines between heroism and villainy. Zoe Pound, in this sense, is part of a global phenomenon. Their story sheds light on the universal human need for respect, identity, and survival. Music is one of the most potent ways to tell a story, and for Zoe Pound, it played a pivotal role in solidifying their legacy. The group's indirect influence on hip-hop wasn't just about power plays, it was about narratives. When artists like Birdman and Lil Wayne referenced Zoe Pound, they weren't just name-dropping, they were adding layers to their music. These mentions gave their lyrics authenticity, grounding their art in real-life power struggles. For listeners, hearing about Zoe Pound wasn't just entertaining, it was a glimpse into a world of danger and ambition. Hip-hop thrives on stories of survival, ambition, and rebellion. Zoe Pound's narrative fit perfectly into this framework. The group became a metaphor for resilience, even as their actions drew criticism. Songs that referenced them became a form of modern-day folklore, immortalizing their name in pop culture. But music also served another purpose. It allowed Zoe Pound to transcend Miami, reaching audiences worldwide. For many, their first introduction to the group wasn't through news reports, but through rap lyrics. This cultural reach ensured that Zoe Pound wasn't just a local story, it was a global one. Law enforcement's struggle with Zoe Pound wasn't just a battle against a gang, it was a fight against an idea. Zoe Pound represented defiance, and for police, this made them a particularly difficult target. The group's ability to blend into the community frustrated law enforcement for years. Unlike other gangs, Zoe Pound didn't rely on flashy symbols or public displays of power. This invisibility made them nearly impossible to infiltrate. Even when arrests were made, the group's decentralized structure ensured continuity. For every leader taken down, another one rose to take their place. This adaptability made Zoe Pound a thorn in the side of law enforcement for decades. The lasting shadow of Zoe Pound can still be felt today. Their story forced Miami police to rethink how they approach gang violence. Traditional methods of suppression often failed, highlighting the need for community engagement and systemic change. Zoe Pound's criminal activities, extortion, drug trafficking, and violence cannot be ignored. These actions caused harm to individuals and communities, leaving behind a trail of victims. Yet, to fully understand Zoe Pound, one must view these crimes within the context of survival. For many members, joining Zoe Pound wasn't a choice, it was a necessity. Poverty, lack of education, and systemic racism left them with few options. The group offered financial security, protection, and a sense of belonging that the outside world denied them. This doesn't excuse their actions, but it explains them. Zoe Pound thrived in an environment where the system had failed. Their rise serves as a grim reminder that crime often flourishes where opportunity is scarce. Modern-day Miami bears little resemblance to the city of the 80s and 90s. And Little Haiti, once a neglected neighborhood, is now a thriving cultural hub. Restaurants, art galleries, and festivals celebrate Haitian heritage, turning the area into a symbol of resilience and pride. Zoe Pound played an indirect role in this transformation. Their fight for respect forced Miami to confront its treatment of Haitian immigrants. While the group's methods were controversial, their message was clear: the Haitian community deserved better. Today, Miami's Haitian community is stronger than ever. Political leaders, entrepreneurs, and artists from the community are shaping the city's future. While Zoe Pound's name may not be celebrated in these circles, their influence cannot be denied. As the years pass, Zoe Pound's story risks fading into obscurity. Younger generations may know the name but not the struggle that birthed it. Yet, their legacy lives on in subtle ways. The resilience they represented continues to inspire. For Haitian Americans, Zoe Pound serves as a reminder of how far the community has come and how far it still has to go. The challenges that created Zoe Pound may not be as visible today, but they haven't disappeared entirely. The future of Miami's Haitian community depends on addressing these challenges. Education, economic opportunities, and cultural representation are key to ensuring that groups like Zoe Pound remain a thing of the past. Zoe Pound's story is neither wholly heroic nor entirely villainous. It exists in shades of gray, reflecting the complexities of life in a marginalized community. For some, Zoe Pound will always be a symbol of pride and resistance. For others, they are a painful reminder of violence and fear. Both perspectives are valid, highlighting the duality of their legacy. As Miami continues to evolve, Zoe Pound's story will remain an important chapter in the city's history. It's a story of survival, ambition, and the lengths people will go to for respect. And while their actions may have been controversial, their impact is undeniable. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Also, don't forget to join our YouTube membership team for more exclusive content.